everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of the Murph and Vish podcast. I'm here with the one, the only, Murphiano. How we doing today, Murph?
I'm doing great, Vicioso. I'm very excited to shoot this episode as well because last episode we highlighted something that I love, and I think you've been looking forward to this episode. We're going to highlight something that you have a very big interest in and something that you love. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I am excited as well. I'm happy to be able to shoot this episode. So, sorry, trying to find my headphones real quick. I thought I plugged those in already. Sorry about that. But yeah, I've been excited. This is a fun one. So we are kind of going to be talking a little bit of sports today for y'all to use. Mostly, I'm going to kind of show off some of my sports cards collections as well as some of my jersey collections. But today we're gonna start out with Wordle, Weddle and Purtle, the NFL and NBA editions of the guessing games. So we're gonna start NBA. Murph, who should we start off with?
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum. So they are in the East.
Let's go.
They're forward guard, and they're lower than 6'8", but older than 25. So in the East Conference.
What teams are even in the conferences? I never was good at that, either for NBA or for the NFL.
How about Bradley Beal? He's in Eastern. I don't think he's in Atlantic, right? Yep. Okay. So
But they said forward and guard, or shooting guard and small forward. Okay.
yeah. So he's taller than 6'4", lower than 6'8". He's older than 29 numbers, and he's not in the Southeast. So he is in one of the other divisions. Trying to think.
You said he's in between 6'4" and 6'8"?
Yep, in between 6'4", 6'8", and he's not in the Atlantic or the Southeast, so he's in the Central. So you got Bucks, Cavs, Bulls, Pacers, and Pistons.
Oh gosh.
And it's a guard.
Oh, what's his name? Vish. The shooting guard for the Bucks.
For the Bucks, Drew, are you thinking Holiday? Or are you thinking Middleton?
Middleton plays forward, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He plays both of the forward positions, and I know he's like 6'9".
See, I don't know if he's forward guard. It's yellow, so I'm guessing he's probably more of a forward.
We can try Chris Middleton.
I don't know if Middleton's though. I think Middleton might. Let's see. Try Chris Middleton. Oh, so he is a forward. He's not on the Bucks.
Let's go.
He's in this. So forward. He's 6'7". He's an older player.
On the Pistons or Pacers?
So you got Pistons, Pacers, Bulls, or Cavs. I was gonna say Drummond. I don't know if Drummond's not that. Drummond's higher than that. I'm trying to think of who. Pitt. He's not a younger, so he's an older guy. He's been in the league then for a while.
And he is a forward.
He's a forward in the Central, and he's 6'7", and he's older than 31.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do Andre Drummond. I think he's taller than 6'7", but he's an older forward. Nope. Okay. So he's not on the Bulls. Not on the Bulls.
What's his name? Montrezl Harris, I think. I don't know what team he plays for anymore.
Montrezl Harris. He is on the. Oh my gosh! Why am I? Hornets. I believe Montrezl Harris is on the Hornets. So it's either So we're looking at either Cavs, Pacers, or Pistons.
Pacers or Pistons.
Cavs don't have. Kevin Love's not on the Cavs anymore.
Nope, that was the first thing that came to my mind too.
See, I thought Kevin Love. So he's not a center though. Cavs is Fry still on the Cavs? No.
I don't even know.
No, Fry's not on. Who's on the?
It's the Pacers and Pistons that's really messing us up.
Pacers.
'Cause I don't know it.
Who are the Pacers? Who's the Pacers forward? Oh shoot, I'm blanking on who the Pacers forward is right now. No, they have a younger. So there's DeAndre Drummond and gosh, who was the other one that played with the Pistons? There's Drummond and
Maxey?
Not Maxey. He's a Monroe. Greg Monroe. He's not. Greg Monroe's not there.
This is tough.
We're gonna help. Okay, here's a silhouette of the mystery player. I don't even. That doesn't help at all. Jared Allen? He's on the Cavs.
No, Jared Allen is like 6'11". Jared Allen is a huge human being. We got really close with Chris Middleton, so
yeah, it's a 6'7" person.
We just need to think of somebody who's older than Chris Middleton and who's on the Cavs, Pistons, or the Pacers.
I'd say Lopez, but Lopez is considered a center.
Yeah, Lopez is, I think, closer to 7 foot too. That dude is massive.
It's going to be a player now. I know it's going to be a player that I see and I'm like, oh yeah, he still plays. So it's literally an older player. It's an older player. He's been playing in the league for a long time. I'm just blanking on who that would be. I don't know.
We might have to look up the roster, Vish. I can't think. I gotta cheat.
I'm gonna try Jared Allen. Nope. He's considered center. I don't know. I know I'm cheating looking at a roster too. I'm not even looking at heights. I'm just looking at like names to help me remember. So he's not on the Cavs. So it's Pacers or Pistons. It's Pacers or Pistons.
I know it's not going to be Miles Turner. Oh, Jordan Nwora? Maybe him? Well, no. He's new. Never mind. He's new. He's very young. And it's not going to be Miles Turner, and I don't think Miles Turner is that old. James Johnson. He's the forward for the Pacers, but he's been in the league for a really long
What was the
time.
name?
James Johnson.
James. There he is. Nope. Not on the Pacers, though.
Damn it. Daniel Thias.
Oh, yeah, it's probably well, I think he's considered a.
He's listed as the power forward, but
Oh, this is our last guess, so he's considered for. Why?
no. Oh.
Oh my gosh! I didn't know he was. I forgot he was on the Pacers. It's gotta be Blocka, the block master. Do we send it?
Boxsters?
Yeah. Do we send it?
Yeah, send it.
Bogan. Oh my gosh! I know Bogan Dovanovic, but I wasn't considering they were considering him as a 4. I thought he was more considered a.
Oh,
I guess he
Bogdanovic.
considered. I should have thought about that. I should have thought of Boban. Wait. Pacers. Then why were they showing Pacers was or yellow?
He was on the Pistons.
Oh, because he's. Oh, I think it's because he's played. Shoot. Okay, well. Now we're switching over to Weddle. That took longer than it should have. Okay, remember, I think this is only offensive. So receiver, running back, quarterback. I don't think there's any defense. Who should... I'm going to go with my boy. Jalen Hurts.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he's in the NFC, but he's not a quarterback. But he is 24, so he's a younger. So NFC West. No, not Mostert isn't. No, what is
Raheem plays for the 49ers. I don't know what division that is though.
Mostert still plays? Oh yeah. Let's do Raheem Mostert. He's on the Niners, which is NFC. Oh no, oh yeah, he's went to Miami. Oh shit, we just wasted it. Forgot he got traded to Miami.
Damn it.
AJ Dillon's on the Packers.
Okay, that's a solid guess.
So no, so not running back, not so it's a 24-year-old receiver in the NFC, but not North. So it's either the South or the West. So we're either North or the West. South or the West. But he's 24, so I was going to say Michael Thomas, but it's not going to be Michael Thomas.
Mike Evans? No, he's old. Never mind.
Evans is older. Oh, Panthers. Because I don't know if they've updated this, but Panthers have oh gosh, what's it? I think he just got traded to the Ravens. Marquise Brown. It's not him. Oh gosh, I can see his name. I can see his picture. There's that video of Cam Newton just roasting him, or when Steve Smith is like, "Should I start you?" Oh, DJ Moore.
Okay.
DJ. Oh, DJ. Okay, so they have updated this because he got traded, so they have updated this. So this is updated.
We're getting fried today, Vic.
Let's do Metcalf. So it's not the West. So it is the South. So he's taller. So he's super tall. He's taller than 6'4". He's 24 years old. And he wears a number higher than 31. So he's probably one of the 80 receivers. So we're looking Bucks, Panthers, Saints, and Falcons. Michael Thomas is too old.
Yeah,
I was
but
going to say Ridley, but Ridley's not on the Falcons anymore. Oh, wait, no. It's not a receiver. Gosh, wait. What?
Huh?
I've been saying it's receivers. So it's probably a tight end. Kyle Pitts. He's younger. He's a tight end, and he plays in the South. Okay, so it is tight end. So it's not on. He's not on Falcons. We have 2 more guesses. So it's either the Panthers, Bucks, or Saints. Saints have.
Who is the Saints tight end right now?
It's Mr. Do It All. I should know his name. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking?
Taysom Hill?
Huh? Yeah.
Taysom?
Taysom, I don't think's taller than. Taysom's not 6'5", I don't think though.
Their starter is Adam Trotman.
He doesn't even pop up.
All right, and then you said Bucks, right?
So yeah, you got Bucks, Panthers, or what? Well, no, we know it's not No, we never guessed a Panther. So we know it's not. It's not Falcons. So it's Saints, Panthers, or Bucks. He's 6'5". He's 24 years old, and he wears a number higher than 31.
Try this guy. He's a starter for the Bucks. I haven't looked any other information up aside from the name. Cade Otton.
Is it Cade? Oh, there it is. Cade Otton. Hey! Nice job. We did it.
We get him?
Yep, we got him.
Let's go.
Okay, that was a little rougher than we wanted there, chat. But me and Murph got to do a little bit better at getting those down. But that's besides the fact. So, let me switch over here back to seeing our beautiful faces. Okay, so, we are going to, we did that. Like we said earlier, we're going to kind of talk about cards and jerseys collections. Murph, which one do you want to talk about first? Should we talk about cards or should we talk about jerseys?
In my opinion, in our free time, in our alone time, you've shown me your jersey collection, and in my opinion, your jersey collection is super dope. So I think we should start with your jersey collection first.
Okay, we will start with the jersey collection. So, chat, I got kind of a massive one. We're going to show you all, talk you a little bit about this. So, the reason behind this first jersey, I grew up in Utah, grew up in a town called Cache Valley. So, Utah State, was one of my favorite colleges, if not my favorite college still growing up, besides Idaho State where, I've worked before and stuff like that. But my first jersey, former Utah State Aggie, the Bobby Wagner. We got his. Now he's back on the Seahawks, so this jersey's not really like an old jersey anymore. But I'm happy to have him, back on the Seahawks. I think, in my opinion, he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer, hopefully moving forward. I feel like him and Kuechly, if they were the next, they were pretty much that era's Urlacher and Ray Lewis. So, I think in my mind he'll be a first bat. He only ended up getting one Super Bowl or so far, but, I think he's definitely put up his numbers. He's usually one of the top 10 tacklers and leads in the tackles. He doesn't get as much interceptions, but I think he has a great knowledge for the game and everything like that. Next one, one of the speediest, receivers, Deshaun Jackson. What's actually kind of cool about this, I can't tell if these are hand sewn on numbers. I bought this on eBay one time for $10. I wanted a new jersey, saw it, or $20, sorry. Saw it on eBay and I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. And so so we ended up buying it. So luckily it came out one of my best jerseys and it was the cheapest. So these next four are for those of you we've talked about before. Kevin Curtis. I don't know if I've kind of brought it up. Kevin Curtis, he's my, he was a Utah State guy as well. Probably my favorite all-time player. Just, comes to Utah State. I was a little kid, grew up, and probably is, my all-time favorite player. I mean, over here, I know we're talking about cards later, but I have 4 rows of 5 cards across of just Kevin Curtis up in my office. you can kind of see that right here. That's all Kevin Curtis cards right there. So, but first one we have, this is actually a practice worn for the Senior Bowl that he was in. I got this. Actually physically got this from him. I've been on, I've hung out with him a couple times. Not recently, but when I was younger. So we also got his Rams jersey. That's signed by him, telling me to follow my dreams. So we got this cool Rams one. Then we got his Eagles one, which also I have had signed by him. And then the last one of the Kevin Curtis ones I have is their old school Eagles blue and yellow ones. The reason I kind of got this one is in one half, him and Brian Westbrook accounted for the most ever rushing and passing receiving yards by a duo in NFL history in one half. So I had to buy that one. You know, he had a record in it, so I had to go with that. This one's a little beat down, worn down, but it's one of my custom Vicious Eagles jerseys. I've had this for a long, long time. Wore it pretty much every Sunday for like 2-3 straight years. So yeah, you can tell it's kind of been through the ringer, but still a good one. Actually, this next jersey is a Jamaica soccer jersey. I actually got this in Jamaica. Was on a cruise and bought this jersey, so thought it was kind of cool to be able to have this jersey. So bought that while we were on the cruise. Got one of the old school USA. It's actually funny on this one too. I think I found this on some site for like $20, and I was like, told my friend, I was like, hey, I found US jerseys. I don't know how well they are. I don't know if they're going to be good. They could be trash. They're $20. I'm going to attempt to buy one. Do you want to buy one? He's like, might as well. And like, they are authentic. They even have like the Nike authentic on there. So got really lucky on this one that it wasn't really a scam. So we have that. Gonna do that one a little bit. We have a Real Monarchs jersey. For all of you who don't know, they are kind of the farm team for Real Salt Lake. I actually did an internship with them, and that's kind of how I got this. This is more kind of one of their warm-up shirts, but still enjoy it, still love it. I have a custom Boston Red Sox. I actually found this. Found this in a gas station, just out of the middle of nowhere. So it was kind of cool to see that. But yeah, bought it. It was like $10, and then I just went. I mean, you can tell it's kind of falling apart. But then I just got these printed on. So now I have my own custom Red Sox one. I have a Columbia soccer jersey, long sleeve. I actually got this from my friend. He did his mission in Bogota, Colombia, and he brought this back for me. So this is kind of where I started collecting more of the soccer type jerseys. I didn't really have a whole lot before then. Once he brought this, I was like, oh, these are cool. I'm going to start collecting a little bit more of these. So did that. One more. We got, this is one of the newer ones, Manchester's alternate uniforms for this year. I really, working at the D's, kind of get some discounts, and I saw, every year I've gone there for like 3 straight years. I'm like, I'm going to buy a jersey. So finally I saw this one. I just, I don't really have a favorite team, but I did really love the colors of it, so decided to buy it. Then unfortunately, this one's now an old one, but we got a Donovan Mitchell Jazz jersey. Unfortunately, he doesn't play for the Jazz anymore, but, it's okay. I have an Idaho State football jersey, actually used in games. And then I got 2 different Idaho State basketball jerseys. And then, the final one, because I wanted to keep this one till last, because most people, this guy, is considered one of the greatest of all time to ever do it in his sport. But, MJ, Michael Jordan, but it's not the jersey you're expecting. Most people think of the Bulls, but I was Michael Jordan fan growing up. Never really got this jersey until super later, so I got a vintage Michael Jordan Wizards jersey. So pretty cool. Doesn't really fit me anymore because it was from when I was a kid, but still great jersey. Had to keep it for the legend. And that's my jersey collection.
So, Vish, after showcasing all those beautiful jerseys, right?
Yes.
I got a couple of questions.
Okay.
Number one, if somebody said that you had to throw away all the other jerseys and you could only keep one jersey out of all those jerseys, and I think I know the answer, but which one are you choosing?
Who? I'm probably going the Rams Kevin Curtis jersey.
See, that's exactly the one I knew you were going to pick. Okay.
Either that one, or the Senior Bowl one, just because he gave that one to me. So I'd say one of those two.
Okay, and then my second question is, if you had to wear two jerseys for the rest of your life, what two jerseys would you wear? You have to wear these jerseys like every day. Can't wear regular T-shirts. You can't wear anything else on the top. Got to be one of those two jerseys. I gave you two options for a little bit of variation. What two jerseys? And it can't be a Kevin Curtis jersey.
Are we talking the ones I own, or are we talking just any jersey of all time?
No, the ones that you own.
The ones I own. Okay, can't be Kevin Curtis. I'm a big sucker for green, so I think I'm going to do that Man United, that blue and green one. Going to do that as one of mine. My second one, probably do the Deshaun Jackson one. It's a really nice jersey. Hand sewn and everything. So those would be probably the two jerseys I pick. And also, I love the Eagles black jerseys.
Okay, that is a really cool jersey that they have, honestly. Those are really dope. And my third and final question is, what's one jersey that you're either going for now as an adult or, a jersey that you've always dreamed of having?
Ooh. See, I've kind of collected these, because I've gotten older. Oh, I forgot, too. I also have this Donna McMahon now one that I'm wearing. I forgot that I didn't bring that one up. But if I had to, I don't know. There's so many different jerseys, and you could go go into sports. Probably go with football over basketball. It's probably there's probably three. If I can't probably narrow it down, I'd have to think more about it. If I did one, it would probably either be Marshall Faulk,
right,
Brian Dawkins,
B-Dog,
or Brian Westbrook. It'd probably be one of those three. If I had to go for any jersey, that's who I think I would go for.
Okay. Also, a couple of your favorite players in there. I know you like Marshall Faulk.
So, like I said, had to go with those. So, but so now kind of moving on. Kind of want to show you a little bit of my card collections. I've been just kind of give you a little backstory. I have been collecting cards since I was super young. I kind of got into it from my uncle. My uncle had a very big card collection that I always kind of watched him do his cards and everything like that. So I really enjoyed the cards. So I kind of started going. Some of these cards there's some of these cards that I got for him. There's some that I bought. it hasn't been until recently that I kind of started recollecting again. I always would buy, like, I bought more packs here recently, but I used to always kind of collect, or at least buy a pack every once in a while. I'd go past the grocery store and be like, oh, look, actually, let's do a pack. I haven't bought one in 6-7 years later. So I have a bunch of different various cards. I have all sorts of different ones. Kind of show you guys my collections. So I have this binder here, which is full of just basketball cards, as well as, sorry, rolling everything a little closer. I have this that has basketball cards as well. I like to put them together, or kind of keep them separated by team, so that's why I moved some in here. That, as you can see, that book's kind of overflowing. I have 3 of these. This one's not as full, but 3 of these, 2 more of these that are full of football cards on top of that one. I have 3 of these tins that are covered with baseball cards. I'm not much into baseball, but I think I found these at the dollar store at one point in time. They didn't have it, wasn't full, and then I just, from collecting and stuff like that. So these were at, like I bought this at the dollar store, this bin, and so I have 3 of these full of cards. I have some of these that are mixed in, but this is a 91 Pro Football set. It's a complete set. It has every single card in the set. Like I said, I have like 2 or 3 more of these, but as I was a kid and being stupid, I didn't keep the sets together and put them by teams, which was a stupid thing. So now I kind of have to go back and figure out the sets. But I think I have like 2 of these 91 sets, as well as other stuff, or as well as a couple others, but they're thrown into those big boxes. I have, this is kind of cool, I got this from my uncle, Jerome Bettis Rams starting lineup. It's his thing, and with his cards, so very old. I mean, if you look at the back here, you got Warren Moon, Drew Bledsoe, Deion Sanders, Marshall Faulk when he was in the Colts, Troy Aikman. Like, these are all the ones you can collect. So definitely very old piece that I got from my uncle. I have this binder. This has my favorite teams in it. I got Eagles, Red Sox. I have Jazz. As well as I have like my Utah State. It was kind of cool growing up. On senior night, they would do these cards for the seniors. So it was very cool kind of to see that. Have a bunch of those, and then just a couple of like McNabb. Got a Karl Malone Lego. A couple of like articles from Kevin Curtis from this game program stuff when I went to a game. And then I have this big binder that's full of basketball and college, some like random NFL ones. I have some Harlem Globetrotters in here, and then I have a bunch of like college of NBA and NFL. Like, I'm trying to remember where there was one I was looking at the other day that like you see I have a Jason Kidd one right here of him in college. So it's just crazy to kind of go through and you see them as college players. So. I also have this Olympic set of cards that I was given to, I believe, by my grandpa, if I remember right. And then also I have one random card in here because I don't know where to put it because it's interesting. I've never seen a card like this. Unfortunately, it's not worth anything, but it's a Houston card of both the Rockets and the Texans. So, it's an interesting card. It has Yao Ming and David Carr, so it was kind of cool to see, a card that has 2 different sports on it. You don't see that as often. Got this nice one that I got from my uncle. It's a framed Karl Malone card, and then this one I have is a Tiger Woods collection that I ended up getting at the dollar store as well. I think so. It's just a bunch of different cards of the Tiger Woods, who is arguably the greatest golfer. But I kind of showed you guys those Legos, but I have more of the NBA Legos. I don't know if anyone remembers these growing up when you could collect these, and they had all of them. So you got O'Neal, Jason Kidd, Tony Kukoc, Allen Iverson, Tony Parker, Antoine Jameson. So there's a bunch of different players in there. Just kind of highlight some of the more just specific ones. I got a bunch of different like jersey patch and signed NFL cards. Fortunately, the ones I have, none of them really hit big, but kind of cool. I have this upper deck set that I actually got from my cousin. It's all Michael Jordan cards, and they're all gold and shiny. I actually think I'm missing one because my cousin never actually got all of them. I thought she had all 12, but she only had 11 of the 12, but it's still very cool. It's a whole set of them. Each year that was kind of signed. Unfortunately, they're not in the greatest condition because she had them hung up in her room for a long time until she gave them to me. I have a couple of my other cool cards. I got this rookie Peyton Manning card. So, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Probably not the greatest, but one of the top. This one's kind of a different basketball, but it's two jersey cards of Stephen Hunter and the greatest, T-Mac, one of the greatest players. And then I have a couple of these Shaq younger cards. Like I said, a lot of these cards, and then he had to throw this because on top of my Kevin Curtis collection that I showed you, I have a jersey patch card of his Senior Bowl up there that I kind of keep in a couple autographed ones, and ones that were autographed, and then ones that were signed by him. But I also have his two jersey patches with the Eagles and the Rams, with the Rams one actually being physically signed by him. So that's kind of, my card collection. Like I said, I've gotten most of these, my uncle kind of got into me. He's the one that I kind of started learning from. Like I said, some of these cards are ones that I have gotten from him, and I'm thankful for him, thinking about giving them to me. Like I said, but I've been collecting cards since I was probably 7, give or take. And like I said, my uncle had like a whole room full of cards, which he doesn't have as much. Because when he was kind of moving and stuff like that, when he kind of sold some of his cards at garage sales here and there. But like I said, I don't have anything near what he has. I don't know what he is at, but he was kind of the one that got me into it and has given me some of my better cards.
Okay. We all can see, Vicioso's got quite the collection of cards. So now this begs the question of if there was one, and I won't ask one card because you have so many cards, but what I will say though is if there was one collection, let's just say you moved out of your home now, because I don't want to put any bad energy into the air. Let's say a house is on fire, and for some weird reason, your entire collection is in that house. Which collection are you going to run in and risk your life to grab that collection, that specific collection of cards?
Are you talking like sports, or are you talking about like a single sport, or just of all the things I have, which like what would be the one thing I grabbed?
Yeah, like all the collections that you personally own. It doesn't have to be a specific sport, but which one would you run in and be like, I have to go get my Jordan card collections, or I have to go get my Tiger Woods card collection? Which one would you run in?
I'd probably try and do 2. I'd grab those gold Jordan cards, as well as I'd grab my binder with my team's cards. Like I said, that team one, those are my favorite teams. And especially too, like I said, those Utah State ones, they don't make those anymore. There was never, it was made that senior night and stuff like that. So, I would probably say those would be the cards. I would grab that binder as well as this collection of the Michael Jordan ones, just because Michael Jordan was one of my favorite players. And then probably hurry and grab these since they're just out and about, that can easy accessible. But that would probably be what I grab.
Okay. Now, which one of your card collections is your favorite collection? I know that you just kind of touched on it, saying that those two would be the
Yeah.
ones that you grabbed. Maybe not the favorite teams one because I kind of already know,
Yeah.
but which
Uh,
one of those is like your favorite that you hold the nearest and dearest to yourself?
I would honestly probably say my football collection, my 3 boxes of football. I just, I watch a lot of football. Grew up playing a lot. I didn't, played football. Even if I talk about what I'm watching and stuff like that, I'm usually more watching football than basketball or any of those other sports. So I would probably say I would pick my football collection.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean your jerseys, you have a very in-depth collection of football jerseys. You have a lot of football cards. I mean, you have an entire frame of Kevin Curtis cards too, so that's very understandable. With that also being your favorite player, that's pretty dope, Vish. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Your card collection and your jersey collection, it's very cool. And even if it's not worth any money or anything like that, it's just cool memorabilia to have. Like that card with like the basketball and football, and I've never seen a card like that before in my life. So
Yeah,
that's a one in a one,
yeah,
really cool, rare type of card to own.
and it's these cards. I don't like I said. I usually just keep them. I don't really look at them a whole lot. There will be times I kind of go through it, but I think that's like the funnest thing to do. I would, you know, I would go, like I said, I had a, when was that? It was about probably a year ago. I had a buddy come over and he came spend the weekend at my house. We literally just went through my football cards and just reminisced. All of a sudden you start going through, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, what, you see this person? Like, you start seeing old names that you're like, holy crap, I haven't heard this name in a long time. Because they might not been like the oldest, but especially too like him, he's a Cowboys fan, unfortunately. But I mean, me and him give each other crap, but he was going through the Cowboys cards like, oh my gosh, this guy, oh my god, like, so it's cool just to kind of go back to, and you see some of these names and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this person, or I forgot, it's really cool to kind of go back because you don't, some of these people you don't even remember, or you see a card and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, they played for that team. I forgot they even played for that team because it was towards the end of their career, or start of their career, so it's like, oh, you don't see, you forget that XYZ played on this team, and it's like, then you see it, it's like, they played on this team? So it's kind of cool to going back and seeing some of these names and old people that, are no longer in the league, whether that's, basketball, football, baseball. You go through and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this person, so it's cool to kind of go through and see those.
Yeah. No, like I said, especially with the card or as a collection as deep as yours, I'm sure you forget that you have certain cards like you just mentioned. So sitting around with somebody else who shares that same passion as you do, and him liking a different team, even though they're your ops
Oh yeah.
as the Eagles fan, but it's still cool to see their reaction to these legendary cards that you have. And you being the owner of all these cards, I'm sure you don't sit there every single day going through each and every single card. So, you're like, oh, I didn't even know I had this card. That's so cool. So
Yeah.
that's the cool part of it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like I said, I absolutely love it. Love the cards. So gonna hopefully keep kind of collecting and kind of slow down. But especially too with these cards. I mean, if you can find if you get the right pull and get the right card. I mean, some of these, and it's just crazy that some of these cards are worth millions of dollars. Like, I know my uncle here recently somehow bought an old set of cards or something like that, and he ended up pulling like 3 Tom Brady rookie cards in this old pack that he bought, and like though some of those cards like in great condition, and like if there's certain ones, they can be up to hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially. So it's just crazy how one little piece of paper can be worth that much money.
Yep. Collector's items, man.
Yep.
These collectors that pay a lot of money for some good stuff, and to people like me who aren't that big into it, to me it seems like a piece of paper. But then I also I get the sentiment behind it of, this was an original cards, the first card that came out of one of the greatest players. So of course it's going to be worth a lot of money. And I'm sure you've got a couple of hidden gems in there too that you just maybe you don't know about, or maybe you haven't done enough research, or whatever the case may be. But with that many cards, Vicious, I'm sure you got a bunch of hidden gems in there, brother.
Oh yeah, and yeah, the thing is, there's cards you don't think about, or it's a card until now. Sometimes, unfortunately, these cards their value doesn't come up until after the person actually is done playing. Like I said, that Tom Brady card wasn't worth a lot. Then he retired, and now it was getting more and more money. But the second he retires, then it becomes a hot commodity because he's retired.
Right.
So, that's his final game. I have a card from when he started. So, and that's the thing with cards that, their value sometimes isn't as good it is until, and unfortunately, there might be a high value card, a high value rookie that, is going to be considered a lot of money. But unfortunately, their career goes downhill, then that card doesn't unfortunately become enough. So it's kind of fun. Sometimes these cards weigh on just the person that's on the card itself. Sometimes it doesn't even matter. It could be a rookie, like I said, I have a bunch of those rookie patch cards, but none of those names really made anything big. So at the end of the day, it's just a card. Could it be a little bit more because it's jersey patch? Yes, but it's not going to be anything tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, a couple of minutes ago, I think it's still cool, regardless of the money aspect, to even have those cards just solely for the memorabilia. You know, because like you said, a lot of these cards don't raise in price until those players retire. But you have a Kevin Curtis collection, and he's been retired for a while, so it's really cool to just have those reminiscent cards of even, and especially him being your favorite player. That makes it even more special to you.
Yep.
A lot of people don't understand, the sports fans, non-sports fans, don't understand the impact that these players have on our personal lives. And you being one of the few people who've had the lucky and the fortunate experiences of meeting your favorite players and them not being jerks and them being really cool towards you, that's really, really dope, because it adds just more of that sentimental value to that personal collection that you have of that specific player. That's awesome. I met Todd Heap at BWI once, and I was too young, and he looked like a giant.
Oh, yeah.
So I was too scared to go and even say hi. And my aunt's, she used to work for the apartment complex that we used to live in, and they were hosting something at the Ravens Stadium. So she met Todd Heap and Haloti Nada, and she took a picture with them. And when I tell you, she literally looked like a toddler next to two NBA players. And Haloti Nada was massive. Dude was like 375, 6'8" or something crazy. And she was 4'10", 120 pounds or something. So you can just imagine how massive they looked compared to her.
I mean, worked in athletics. That's how I feel just alone. I see some of these guys, and it's like, hey, I'm trying to talk to them, hey, how's it going? Having my neck completely looked up. There was one time I hit, I'm around 5'10". I had an athlete that was 7'1" one time. So if I looked at him, I was looking mid chest. It is where my eye vision was almost. So it's looking up to him. It's hey, because he's all almost a whole foot taller than I was. So it's just crazy. Crazy to think with those, and how much these athletes make. General person. You even look at it sometimes too. You look at Yao Ming. You see him stand by people, and it's they look tiny, and you're that's a normal sized person, but Yao Ming makes them look like they're 5 feet tall.
I know these guys are massive. Even Todd Heap standing next to Haloti Nada, he didn't even look small next to Haloti Nada.
I agree. Chat, we're going to go kind of on to, our last topic here. As everyone knows, tonight the NBA Finals are starting. We got the Heat versus the Nuggets. A lot of people are unfortunately toning it down because it's not the Lakers and Celtics, but I think they both teams made their way and got there. So, but kind of Murph, what is your prediction on the series? Who you think's gonna win, and how many games do you think they're gonna win?
Personally, I think just like the previous series with the Nuggets, Jokic is unmanageable, and especially for one of the top centers in the NBA, aka Anthony Davis. Regardless of his inconsistencies, Joker is a very consistent center. Um, and he forces everybody on the court to play at his pace and basically play his game. And I personally don't believe Bam Adebayo has enough dog in him to stop Joker. So I think Joker's going to consistently put up anywhere from 20 to about 35 points a night. If he really wants to, depending on how the series goes, if he needs to kick it into overdrive, I'm sure Joker could easily drop a cool 40 piece on the Heat. Jimmy Butler, he'll be another piece for the Nuggets to have to worry about. Jamal Murray is also a kind of an inconsistent player, where he'll pop off every now and then. He's kind of like a wild card where he'll play mediocre, he'll have his regular stat line, and then boom. Like during the Lakers, he had a 36-point game, and then I think he had like a 42-point game. But that was only 2 games out of how many games they played? 7
Yep.
or 6, I think.
Well, the Lakers series there was only 4.
Okay, yeah, so they swept them 4. No, that's right. I mean, well, that's pretty good. So then he had a 50%, of him popping off. So I don't know. I mean, I hope Jamal Murray can, pull up that same energy, especially against the Heat. And I think the Heat defensively and offensively, especially with the starting and the bench, they're pretty stacked. So the Nuggets are going to have to worry about defending the 3. And Joker's going to have to kind of stay anchored in the paint because Jimmy Butler is not scared to attack the bucket. And his little fadeaway that he likes to do all the time, he's mastered it. He's perfected it. And it kind of showed during that Celtics series. And I think Jimmy Butler's mindset is kind of different. And you could kind of tell that during the Celtics series because it came down to, I think it was Game 7, I think. Yeah, it was Game 7 because the game before they had lost to the Celtics, and in my personal opinion, I thought that was BS. But, it is what it is. We move, and it's in the past now. But Jimmy Butler's mindset, you could just tell after that loss, he's like, it's okay. We're going to come back next game, and we're going to win. He was not tripping off of that loss at all. He didn't think it was going to be a close call or a close game or anything. He wasn't worried. So I think the Nuggets as a whole have to be worried about that one man because that one man is capable of turning his entire team up. And that team is a very lethal team. And, I mean, they wouldn't make it to the NBA Finals if they weren't a lethal team. But I also, to counteract that fact alone is that Joker is by himself another one of those players who is so dangerous. I mean, you've never seen a man that big being able to be that nimble and mobile and still shoot threes. And the way that he shoots his threes is basically behind his head. Bam Adebayo doesn't have enough height. His wingspan isn't that big for him to be able to even defend a Joker, post-shot fadeaway or even a Joker three-pointer. So, there's a lot of things here. It's going to be a pretty good matchup, I think. My personal opinion, I think Nuggets, they're not going to sweep, but the Nuggets, I can't really give a specific number, but I think that the Nuggets are going to win the series, and I want to say it's going to be close. We'll have to kind of see how seriously Joker takes them, or if Joker really wants to just put him out or not, because the amount of work that he was giving AD, we know Bam Adebayo is not even close to having that level of defense that AD has or that offensive prowess because Bam Adebayo did the minimum in the Celtics series. He had, I think, 3 games with only 15 points. And I think the last 2 games, one game he ended by the second half with only 5 points. So that's kind of, you can't put that type of performance up against an offensive, like an offensive monster like Joker. If you let Joker go on a run, your whole team is down the drain. So Bam Adebayo is going to really have to pray or do something because the Joker's going to give him hell all series long. But I think the Nuggets are going to win. That's my prediction. And I would also like to point out I was right about this. I said it was going to be the Heat and the Nuggets, and look at where we are.
You did.
Final Heat and the Nuggets. I was right.
For those you don't know, so we were doing some talking sports on my Twitch channel initially, and that's kind of what brought this podcast to life. For you don't know, so we actually had done predictions. It was about midway or end of the first round is when we kind of made those predictions. So, but yes, Murph did make those. You can always check those out. Those are on my YouTube channel if you're interested in kind of looking at those. I think we did about 4 or 5 episodes of talking sports.
What about you, Viciosis? What do you think? How do you think this is going to go? Who do you think is going to win?
Both teams are really good teams. They're the Heat are the last 8 seed. Technically they were the 7 seed going into until the play-in where they lost the first one, then won the next one. But both teams, Heat got some good players. They got some good depth. They have a couple guys banged up. But then you have the Nuggets. I think they're like a really good team. I mean, they got number 1 in the West. I think it's kind of a little more equal than it has been, but still West, in my opinion, is kind of the more dominant conference. I feel like there's a lot better teams in the West, in my personal opinion. But to come out with the number 1 seed in the West is very, very honorable. I mean, the Jazz, I'm a Jazz fan. They did a couple of years ago and then kind of tanked in the playoffs. But that's the thing is you never know in the West, and the playoffs in general, what can happen. I mean, you had, the Heat that swept the 1, what they took on the 1, the 3, and the 2, if I remember. No, the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 2 or something like that. So, they played some high in the East as well. But I just think the West is a different monster. I think the Nuggets are a complete team. I think they are going to be the one that comes victorious. I think it's going to go to like game 6 at least. I think they're going to win in 6. I'm interested to kind of see what the Nuggets do. They have had a lot of time off because that other series went to 7 games. So, but that means they're rested, but also too, it's sometimes hard because you had all that momentum and then you have to all of a sudden stop and pick up again. Other team, the Heat have picked up some of that momentum as well. But I think the Nuggets are, and one thing I kind of want to say, you see a lot of the things like, oh, the Nuggets had the easiest path to the NBA Finals. Well, at the end of the day, as a 1 seed, you're always playing the lower seed. But, too, at the end of the day, I feel like the teams that they were playing weren't as good or were better than their, what they're thinking. They first, initially they played, the 8 seed, but that's what you're going to do as a 1 seed. But then, they played the Suns, who were the 4 seed. But, again, the Suns were doing really hot and doing really well with KD. Since KD had joined, they hadn't really lost a game, I think, since KD had been on the floor. So, that was a big get for them. So that's a good team. And then, as much as I hate to say it, the Lakers were a 6 seed, but they weren't, because they made all those trades and started making a push towards the end to actually get that 6 seed. But the team they had towards the end was a lot better than they started the season with. So, again, is that an easy path? I mean, it's never an easy path in the playoffs regardless of what. I mean, like I said, you can say the same. Well, the Heat had to play all those teams and won. It's no different but the Nuggets are pulling off. I mean, you swept that Lakers team. Suns, they went into, was that 5-6 games? I can't remember.
Yeah, against the Suns, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was 5 games in the against the 8th seed as well. So, again, at the end of the day, they play a lot of these teams, and so, yeah, that's my opinion. I think it's going to be Nuggets in 6. I think it's going to be a great thing. Realistically, I think Jimmy Butler and Jokic are going to be the 2 factors on determining if that actually happens or not. as people, as he's trademarked now, Himmy Buckets. Uh, but I think it's going to be a series, and it'll be kind of interesting to watch.
I agree.
So, um,
Uh,
so Murph, I know chat. If any of you have any questions that you would like us to answer, put them in chat now. We'd love to answer those. While we're waiting on that, Murph, you always have that kind of one question to kind of help end us off. So, what is your one, or your one question for today to end off our podcast?
who do you think of the finals is going to become the MVP? Who do you think is going to be the MVP? When it's all said and done, who do you think is going to get that MVP vote?
See, the finals MVP is interesting because they take more of the finals performance, but again, that's I think if it's the Heat, it's going to be Jimmy Butler. If it's the Nuggets, it's going to be Jokic. I think those two are going to do the most for their team in order to do. I mean, there could be a player that comes out of nowhere that leads, but I think it's going to be one of those two.
And how many? So let's say, right, and we'll do it for Timothy and we'll do it for Joker, right? Because we know already that those are the two X factors for both of the teams. If they have a banger game, could you possibly make a prediction on that banger game's stat line for both of those players?
See, I think so. If you go Jokic, I think his banger games, I think they're going to be all consistent. I don't think there's going to be like one. If I had to pick anything, I think he's going to have like a 25-8, 25-9 type of game. And I think I could see him doing that most of the series. I don't think. I mean, he could, but I don't see him going with the team and how he plays. He's not the one that's like, oh, I need to have 40 or whatever. Like, if he could end up with that, but it's not necessarily that he has to do that. If I had to do Jimmy Butler, it's going to be his normal, Himothy buckets, and he's going to put up, 45 because, the team's struggling. And he has to kind of put them on his back. So, if anything like that, Jimmy Butler's going to end up with like 5 and 5 or 20 or like 45 points, like 5 assists, 5 rebounds, give or take somewhere around there.
See, okay, so for Joker, I would say, and I agree with you with his consistency, but Joker also, as we know, he plays his game not necessarily lazy, but he plays it slow. But he has those moments where if he needs to pick it up, like during the Lakers series, where I think he dropped 36 on AD's head, and that was a nightmare game for AD. I mean, when you watch the highlights or if you watch the game, you could just see how hard AD was trying to stop Joker. And they said it in a pregame interview, there's nothing you can do to stop that guy. We put the best center on this guy in the league, and he's just making him look like a kid in a pickup basketball game. So I think for Joker, I think he could go 36 points, 11 rebounds, and a couple of assists. Easy 11 rebounds for Joker because he's like 7 foot almost, if he's not. And for Timothy, I agree with your stat line completely, like a 35, maybe like a couple of rebounds and a handful of assists as well.
Okay. Well, chat, this looks like we've hit kind of end of our podcast. Just to give you guys, at least that are watching here right now, we will not be filming any live episodes next week. I am going to be out of town on vacation with my family, so I'm going to be gone all week. For those of you watching this on YouTube, this is actually posted. We know we usually do it the day after, but this is actually posted about a week after we have filmed. But yeah, tune in for us. The week of like the 12th, 13th, somewhere around there. Kind of be watching out. We'll kind of let you guys know, but we'll be getting live sometime that week. So like I said, next week we won't be having any live episodes. Again, if you have any, comments on, what your thoughts are, if you have questions for, myself about my card collection, my jersey collection, let me know. If you have any, what's your thoughts on the NBA Finals? I know by that time we're a few games in, but let us know your thoughts of what you thought are or what your prediction was, kind of going into the series of what that would have been. And again, Vegito, Legends, we appreciate you tuning in here live with us. If you any of you are interested, you can follow us on Twitch where we film live, twitch.tv/Murph and if you're interested. But we appreciate everyone that has shown love and support to our channel, whether that's here live with us or watching us on YouTube. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys later.
Peace.